These are the 3 tips I have for engineering students, and this is me after my first year of studying computer engineering. The first tip I have for you guys is know your professors. Why is this important? Your professors have so many connections, so much knowledge, probably industry experience, and so much advice that they could give you. So first thing I would recommend is talking to your professors. Like, it doesn't have to be like a big thing. It could just be slowly starting the conversation. When you go into class, say, "Good morning, professor. Good afternoon." Whenever they have lectures, ask questions. Be the one person that asks some questions here and there. It doesn't have to be like super elaborate, but like just raise your hand and put yourself out there, because when they know who you are, then that's a good sign you're participating and you can build a connection with them. The biggest tip I have is to go to office hours, because this is when you have a 1v1 with them. One time I had my calculus professor, I went to his office hours, and like he was like, "You're a good student, you know? If you ever need a recommendation, I got you." And I was like, "Okay, now I have a future recommendation." So start building those connections so that you can in your future have people you can reference. And also, it's important because they give you so much advice. For example, my programming professor I had, he's been working like 30 years at the city for like an IT, and he told me like all these things we're learning in school, they're important, but a lot of times we're not going to use them. So he told me you should learn this programming language instead, because I was learning C++. He told me you should learn SQL. So it's important just to build that relation, because they're going to give you so much advice and it's going to help you in your future career. Second tip I have is go to clubs. Go to clubs, network, please. So I joined my robotics club, and basically what we did was we built a 3D airplane, and we ended up using Fusion 360, which is like a design software. So you can just design like 3D objects, 2D objects, anything. And I learned how to use that. I learned how to 3D print, because you have to put the files into the printer, and that's how you learn to 3D print. So that's another important thing, just because you're learning all these things that you're probably gonna have to do later on, but you're just learning it right now and you're getting ahead. I learned how to solder, which I think that's how you say it. I'm not completely sure, but it's basically where you connect two metal things together with a metal string. Like, super important stuff that I ended up learning. We went on a competition. I learned how it is to compete. We had to connect our plane to a controller, and you know, all these things. I learned so much, and not even that, I connected with so many people, and now I have connections that I could go off of, because all these people I spent all this time building this 3D airplane with, that now we're friends, now we're like super close. So it's like an easy way to just get close to people in your major. It's an easy way to grow as an engineer. Even on the competition, I met so many people. I met this guy working like at some place where they do like train checks, and he's like a business major. I have connections now just because I joined this club. And I recommend joining clubs where they actually do stuff, where they actually go on competitions. You know, they do a whole bunch of like actual projects. And I recommend these just because you're gonna learn so much, and you're gonna build so many connections that are gonna help you on later in your career. I recommend people learn how to network, just because going to these events, you're gonna have to learn how to talk to people, how to present yourself. And it's super important, because your whole life is basically selling. You're gonna sell yourself to your future company. You're gonna have to sell yourself to all these people. And I know it's like, I don't like sales. I don't like all these processes of like having to put yourself out there, but it's very necessary. It's gonna help you in the long run. So third tip I have for you, building projects. Projects, yes, your resume is super important. On my first year, my resume doesn't look the greatest, but because I joined clubs and I built projects, it's something, you know. It's gonna take time for you to build a good resume, but having projects that are actually like well thought out are really important. It shows companies that you know what you're doing. You know something. It doesn't have to be a lot, but if you build a project that requires the skills that a company needs of you, it's gonna look really good. Projects, super important. Focus. As soon as you get into engineering, build a project. Try thinking of something you could build. If you're doing anything software related, get a GitHub, put all your documentation on there. It doesn't have to be anything complicated. Just try something. And I just say these projects are going to help you in the long run. Constantly having to innovate. And I say don't, mostly if it's software, do not build something that everyone's building, like what people tell you to build this. Solve an actual problem. Like, solve something that people actually need solved. because if you're showing that you're innovating, you're being creative, it's gonna put you way farther out than just doing copy paste projects. So I know it's hard, but these are the 3 tips I have for engineering students. If you're an engineering student struggling, then subscribe to my channel and drop a like so I can keep posting more content like this as I progress in my engineering studies, so I can show you guys the important things about engineering that a lot of people overlook. So thanks for watching, and I hope you have a good one.